All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for your patience. Just wanted to make sure I got the recording going, which it is. So we're good to go, and I'm joined by my good friend Martin, who is the mastermind behind FX Synergy. So in a little bit, I'm going to bring him on to introduce himself and to answer questions. I want this session to be mostly for you guys, so I want to get all your questions answered. I do have a few of my own points that I want to go through just based on the questions I've been receiving over the last few weeks. Make sure that everybody is set up, everything is clear. Obviously, there are things that we're going to have to discuss about each trade as well, just on a big picture level. As you all know, the Forex markets are decentralized. Every broker makes their own market. The strategy that we're using for these trade calls works on TradeStation, and that is the data that we are using, and it is not always going to mesh up with the data that your broker is providing. And we're going to always be trying to think of ways to mitigate that, but it's never going to be perfect. So some of the things that you're going to need to learn, and I'm sure as time passes you'll get better and better at it, is how to react in a case where we hit our entry or a target or a stop and you don't, or vice versa. So again, there's never going to be perfection. But luckily, this strategy and this trade plan wins so much that there really should be plenty of opportunity to do very well with this. You do have to give yourself enough time to go through a little bit of your own learning curve, and everyone's will be different depending, of course, upon how you're set up and who your broker is, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll talk about some things like that. And I will go back, I'm going to circle back and hit up all your questions, but let me just go through a few of the major things first, just to make sure that we are all on the same page. So as you know, I've recommended that everyone get on FX Synergy. I've worked out a great deal with our friend Martin here for a good discount. I know it's an extra cost, but it is very well worth it. Just, it's important to have the best tools of the trade. Trading is just too darn important to get it wrong, and you don't want to let tools be the thing that prevents you from success. So we want to get what we need, and FX Synergy, I think, is the best solution. And what we're working on, which I'm really excited about, is going to even make it a better solution. But I don't want to steal Martin's thunder on that, so I'm going to hold off on explaining what we see coming down the pipe pretty soon here. So let me ask this question first. Is there anybody who is getting on FX Synergy and having problems getting that set up, or have not yet set it up? Because I thought maybe one of the first things I can do is show you how easy it is to get it working. It is so easy that it's like, well, it's not easy if you don't know how, of course, but once I show you how, so any problems that you're having, we're going to fix by today, and that's one of the reasons why Martin is here for us. So let me pull up their website really fast here. I thought I would do this for Martin so that he doesn't have to. So pecuniasystems.com. That's where you want to be. Of course, you want to use the link that we provide because you get that 20% discount. So if you need that link, let me know. So, I had to go through this process again. I've done it a long time ago on my other trading computer. I had to do it again to set it up on this computer, and I wanted to go through the process just to remind myself how simple it was. So when you get on this site, what you want to do is you go to Downloads, and then you download FX Synergy. And then once you download FX Synergy, you just click through the prompts and install it. It just installs like any other software. Okay, so that's step number one. Super simple. Click through the prompts. That's it, right? Anyone have a problem with that? Russ says he's on it and it works great. Yes, I agree. All right, so once you've done that, then you open up your MT4 platform. Do I have mine open? I think I do. Let me just double check. All right, so once you get, I'm using a Wanda, right? So all you have to do, this is so easy, you guys. Click on any chart. Now, if you're using the Core Plus pricing with the Wanda, you're going to want to click on one of those charts. All right? So actually, let me back up. First of all, you may need to contact your broker, whether it's a Wanda or someone else, and make sure that you are connected to your MT4 platform with them. Like I had to do that. I had to do that the other day with this new account. I got a SIM account opened up, a practice account, and it wasn't connecting to MT4. Now, before I could connect Synergy to it, I need to get live data coming through. You have to do that first. And it's really simple to do. Log into your Wanda and then click on the live chat button. Someone comes on live chat. Explain to them, I need help getting MT4 hooked up to your live data feed. It's not working for me. That's because it has to have a different login and password and all that made. They will do that for you. Get on live chat or call them on the phone and don't hang up until you see a live data feed into your MT4 platform. See down here in the bottom right corner, it says connection status. You can see data coming through. That's how you know you're connected. A Wanda will help you do that. Don't try to do it by yourself. You'll just get frustrated. All right, so if you haven't done that yet, then do that. It's really simple. Use your tech support. If it's not a Wanda, if it's any other broker, regardless of who it is, you need a connection, right? You need a live data feed. All right, so I'm going to assume you guys either are going to do that or you've already done that. All right, fair enough? And like Don says, you need to set up MT4 first. Exactly. So once you do that, now this is how simple FX Synergy is. You've already installed it. All you have to do is right-click on a chart, go to Template, and then you'll see it says FX Synergy. Just click on it, and it's going to put FX Synergy on a chart like this one, and it's going to look like this, and you're going to see this big red bold message, do not close this chart. I advise you take its advice and do not close it, because if you do, FX Synergy will not work. If you leave it open, it's going to work great. It doesn't have to be on a pound Aussie chart, or does it? I don't think so. I'm going to let Martin answer that. Martin, maybe you could type that in. I used to have it on other symbols, and it worked great. Now, here's the catch, though. If you're using the Core Plus commission pricing, which a Wanda offers, I'm going to suggest that you do that. It's going to lower your spread dramatically, and then you want to put FX Synergy on one of those symbols. So those symbols are typically going to be like GBP AUD-9. As I think how it looks. And you might have to get a Wanda to help you, but ultimately what you do is you just go to View, Symbols, and inside, I think it's one of these folders, you're going to find all the Core Plus commission pricing symbols, and then you add them. Again, I'm not an MT4 expert. I did go through the process. It was super simple. Maybe it's maybe it's a different set for some of you. I don't know. But again, use the live chat with a Wanda for anything, or your whoever broker you're using, by the way, get them to help you get the symbols correct. And as Martin said to me, and I tried it, and then I'm like, Martin, just make a note on that. I'll pass this over to you in a bit. But the point is, once you have it set up, and you saw how easy it was, I don't have the Core Plus commission pricing on my demo account, but I do on my live account. And just to give you an idea, so let's see. Now, once I have it set up, then you're going to see FX Synergy, right? You have them both open. Now, I run mine on a VPS, so that it runs 24/7, not on my computer, but on a virtual machine, because I also use this for a swing trade service and for swing trading. And so if you're swing trading, it's good to have it on a VPS so it's running 24/7 and it's not on your home computer. All right, so, but it basically looks like this. Whatever symbol, and I have way too many symbols. I don't need all these symbols, but who knows? Maybe I'll use them. But here's the pound Aussie. Notice that the spread is 2.7, 2.6. That's because this is a slow period of time. It's afternoon, right? New York time. But a lot of times you'll see that at 3, 4, 5, the spread will widen. But notice that the spread is constantly moving. That's part of the problem with some of you getting filled and not getting filled, and us calling a signal, and some of us get filled and some of you don't. There's nothing we can do to control that. The broker makes his own market, and he's never going to do it at your convenience. So you're going to have to learn how to work around that, and I'm going to give you some pointers, and I'm sure Martin will have some too. But if I were showing you this on my live account right now, and I'm just going to turn for a moment and double check and make sure I'm telling you the truth. Give me 1 second. Yeah, all right. Just wanted to double check. The spread here says 3.2, as you can see. On my live computer, it's less than 2. It's like 1.3, 1.6, 1.5, less than 2 pips. And sometimes I'm placing trades with a 1 pip spread. That's worth it, don't you think? Get the core plus commission pricing. The commission is a sliding scale. Again, if you're with a Wanda, ask them to explain it to you. But a smaller position is a smaller commission, and it's just a better deal. That's going to help you with your executions and getting closer to what we're calling. But even if you do that, these quotes are coming from a Wanda. All the trade decisions are coming from TradeStation. And even though the quotes are very, very close most of the time, they're not going to be perfect because they are 2 different data feeds. Even my charts are different from Kevin's, and we both use TradeStation because he's in the central time zone and I'm on the West Coast, and we both access different TradeStation data feeds. Even then, there's a variation sometimes. Half a pip, 1 pip, a few ticks. And that's enough to change everything. It all comes out in the wash. In the end, I've been trading this way with TradeStation charts, placing my trades on a Wanda for a very long time. And it works most of the time. But there's nothing you can do about spread. There's nothing you can do about the data differences other than learn how to think on the fly and practice executing in a variety of different ways. Now, FX Synergy is going to help us with our executions a vast majority of the time, and we're going to be able to take advantage of these great trades a vast majority of the time. Sometimes the bus is going to leave the station and you're still going to be standing at the bus stop. You just can't fret stuff like that. Perfection does not exist. Maybe that trade would have lost and you saved a losing trade. Sometimes it'll win and you'll miss a winning trade. That's going to happen sometimes, and you just can't get upset over it. It's the business we're in. You also have the option to get the Spotlight Power Trader and have these charts playing on your own TradeStation or NinjaTrader, which will still be a little different, and you could see the trades yourself also. I'm not stopping anyone from doing that. In fact, I'm contemplating, and if you guys voice a loud, strong opinion on this, I'll probably end up doing it, and that would be to come out with like a catapult style, spotlight, one market, one chart, this chart at a very low cost so that you just get this. You don't need to worry about anything else, and you could have it on your own TradeStation or Ninja. I would say TradeStation's better, but if you're in Canada, I understand you can't do that. Neil, unfortunately, it won't work on MT4 because this is a range bar. It's an 8-pip momentum range bar, and MT4 only works with time-based charts. Sad, but it's just the way it is. Martin and I are discussing the possibility of bringing it onto MT5, but we're not at that point yet, and I don't want to start making promises that may or may not happen. What about Renko? It has nothing to do with Renko. This is the trade plan. It's been working for years. I'm not going to start entertaining this or entertaining that. This is what works, and this is why we're using it. Yeah, as far as displaying the chart, I mean, you could always log into the Traderoom, Don. That's where the chart's displayed, at least when I'm in on Mondays and Wednesdays. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Kevin and I discussed maybe moving this to a live Traderoom environment, and that is not out of the question. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe. I'm not going to promise. Right now, we're like 1 month into the strategy. I understand that there are a few bugs that need to be worked out. There's a learning curve on your end. There's a learning curve on our end. There's a learning curve that is, I mean, this is, like I said, we've never done this before. I think we're doing amazing. I mean, look at all the losing sessions we've had since we started. How many have there been? 3? So I know it's not perfect yet, but if it's this imperfect and this good during the first few weeks, just think it's going to get better, because we're going to get better. You're going to get better. We're going to come up with better ways to deliver the trades, which Martin is here to share with us some exciting developments that are coming down the pipe soon. All right. So, I mean, I think we're doing pretty darn good for being pioneers in something that's a very difficult thing to do. How many people out there are delivering live trades the way we are? It's really hard to do. Most people fail. I joined a service years ago. I quit immediately because it was awful. The trade happened 5 minutes before I got the signal. I mean, imagine that. Maybe we miss by a few seconds sometimes. And Kevin is he's been awesome. There's no such thing as perfection, though. Like today, I'm going to admit today, and Kevin and I talked about it, we made a mistake. For sure, the trade did not come back up to the entry. Our bad. We should have called the next trade at 9. Okay, that was a mistake. It missed by like 0.2 pip. And in the heat of battle, trying to get things out fast and timely, there wasn't time to double check. And so, you know, our bad. Luckily, that just doesn't happen very often, and Kevin and I discuss it. So here's what we're going to do. There's an augmentation to the trade plan. All right, you guys can write this down if you want. I'll update it on the member site. Yeah, we must be human. No, I don't. I reject that claim. All right, so here's the thing. This is what we're going to do. The trade plan starts at 8:30. Now, one thing I also talked to Kevin about, and you guys also should be aware of this, forexfactory.com is going to show you when the reports come out. Every Thursday morning, there's a red label report, the unemployment report, the weekly report comes out right at 8:30. We do not want to call trades right at that time. We want to wait a couple minutes. The spreads are out of whack, and just like I always teach with all my strategies, and we do in the trade room, especially in the past, when there were a lot more red label reports coming out half hour later in the middle of our trading session, is we stand down 5 minutes in front of the report and wait 2 to 5 minutes after. With Forex, you kind of have to wait until the spreads get normalized. And again, it's going to be different with every broker. But I think about 2 minutes should do it. And the trade today came out right when the report came out. So it was just a mistake from the very beginning. I mean, I'll show it to you. It's like it was an early setup, and we get in sync. So the setup was right here at 7:41. And right at 8:30, which is here, is when the trade was called, and it's too fast because the report's coming out. And then right here, it stabbed up and missed the entry by a hair. And that was already 3 minutes in by the time that bar closed. So it was just a mistake, all right? We're learning. Kevin understands. We both understand, you know, the perfect trade, but it wasn't tradable. So the next trade should have been called. It wasn't. It would have been a winner. So here's what I'm saying we're going to do. There's an 8:30 start time, right? Sometimes you have to wait through news. If we win in the first 30 minutes, then, or if the trade wins, maybe the trade wins and it was too fast for us, regardless. Let's just say that we're one and done, or the session wins. Maybe you're able to trade it. Doesn't matter. We're going to call an alternative start time session beginning at 9, 30 minutes later. So you could do both if you want. If we don't get a trade in the first 30 minutes, then obviously the first trade's going to come after 9 anyway, and that's going to just be the first trade for the 8:30 session and for the 9 a.m. session. That 30-minute difference is going to help you guys. And what we've learned is that the 9 a.m. start time has really good results. So I feel really confident about being able to do that, and it offers you bonus trades. Is there any questions about what I'm suggesting? We're going to start doing this. So you're going to have an 8:30 start time. Yeah, like a mini session. Exactly. Because the 9 a.m. session, the trades are usually larger. You probably notice that you probably hit the targets, all 4 targets more often with the 9 a.m. session, etc. What I like about the 8:30 session is that it often just gets to target 1, then stops out, but we're one and done very fast. But the metrics on the 9 a.m. session are better because the trades tend to open up and move through the bigger target. So you're going to have both. No, this is going to be a Monday through Friday thing. So an 8:30 start time, holding through news. If the trade's too fast, if the trade wins, if the trade loses. First of all, if the trade loses, Kevin's going to keep calling trades for the enhanced trade plan for those that want to do more than a one and done approach. Some of you just want to do one and done, the first trade, win or lose, that's it. And that actually works really well over time. But some of you want to keep going and get to your power of quitting goals and hit your positive result. So if the first trade loses, Kevin will continue to call trades. But 9 a.m. is the beginning of the second session regardless. And that might be the first trade that gets the 8:30 trade. You know, maybe the first trade at 8:30 loses, the second trade starts at 9, it wins. Then both sessions end up winning positive. The 8:30 took 2 trades, the 9 a.m. only took 1 trade, etc. Understand? And then I'm going to add one more thing that's going to really sweeten the pie for you guys. I really want this to work. I want everybody to hit their financial goals. I want this strategy to get you guys into retirement so you could all fire your boss and become your own best versions of the backpack trader. I want this to work for you guys. You have no idea how badly. So does Kevin. So here's the thing. When the sessions lose, which happened 3 times since October 1st. What's today, the 29th? There are going to be more losing sessions. We might even have a losing month, you guys. I mean, that could happen. It's rare, but it's going to happen. There will be losing weeks sometimes too. But it wins. This strategy has been working for years. And it doesn't do anything different than when it first came out. So we're really confident about it. But here's what we're going to do. If the morning sessions lose, and by the way, at 10:20 is when it's going to finish. So the 9 a.m. or the 8:30, whichever one, at 10:20, no more trades for the morning session, win or lose. The reason why, because we've learned between 10:20 and 11 is just a crappy time to trade this strategy. So we're not going to do it. There's no point. But that last hour between 11 and 12, when the morning session ends up negative, Kevin's going to call a bonus session from 11 to 12. 3 cheers for Kevin. He's not getting paid extra. We're not charging you extra. Like I said, we want you to succeed. The reason why we're doing that is because when the morning session loses, the 11 a.m. to noon hour has been winning 80% of the time with bigger trades, and it's been phenomenal. I don't know what happens when the morning session wins, because we're usually finished and we're just, we're still backpack traders and want to get away from the computer. So if we win, we're not doing it. But if the morning session loses, the 11 a.m. start time has an 80% win rate. Now, I can't promise it's going to continue, but that's what it's been for a very long time. So that gives you a bonus session that could help get your entire day, if not positive, at least better off. And remember, 20% of the time so far, that's going to lose. And you could end up with a bigger loss also. And sometimes that'll happen. Let's face it, this is trading. But in the long run, you all see what this is doing. And winning 80% of the time, I mean, you can only stack the odds in your favor so much. That is an awesome trade. All right, so again, if the morning sessions are not positive, Kevin is committed to an extra hour between 11 and 12 to call that late morning session with the high winning results. Sound good?